Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this episode of The Splash.
I told
And
you
if I sound like I'm coming out a little flat-footed,
you are flat-footed.
that's because Spencer kind of hurt my feelings right before we start recording.
Yeah, I know.
You did, and that's okay. Like, I want it to be okay. We're here, we're fine. We're doing this a couple days late, but we're here, we're doing it.
We
had a miscommunication yesterday. I was out of town, this, and this. But here we are. It is Tuesday the 17th at 1:58 p.m. And The Splash is coming to you right now.
And we also missed last week's upload, so a few days late is kind of a... it's kind of...
Well, a few can
generous.
be like a big bunch of days, like a conglomerate of days. It could be. It all depends on your interpretation. That's what I learned.
Could be.
Right?
And I wasn't trying to get under your skin. I just wanted to bring the fire out of you because, like I said, it's been 2 weeks. Let's face it, we haven't been bringing the energy, and I don't know. You're already like, I just think there's people out there that need to know that you are locked in. You know, that's it.
Oh, I'm locked in, baby. I'm right here, right now.
Just like
you and me.
WWE, we get behind the, backstage, hyping each other up. That's all this is. Just a little hype. Just trying to hype you up, man. Just
Thanks,
trying to
man.
get you locked in. We have a lot to get into because we have missed quite a bit of time. I wrote some fabulous notes for us today. Wrote some fabulous notes last week. Didn't get to
Did
it.
you?
That's fine. It's okay. Stuff happens. I was traveling. You were moving back to Austin. Stuff happens.
But you know what? Now we're here. We could have had somebody fill in for us. I'm glad we didn't.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. Maybe Will wants to go off on his own.
I don't want.
You're right. Let's not give him any ideas.
Let's not even give him any ideas.
But you know what I'm excited for?
What's that?
I'm excited to talk about the Boston Celtics with you.
I am too. I just came on. We just saw a game last weekend. Here at home home for us, I guess. And I went on to see them again. So I've seen some Celtics basketball lately. Things are going mostly well right now. Say 7-game win streak. Jaylen Brown is out right now, but it's not a big deal. I think this feels like one of those mid-season injuries. Like, let's milk it, get you some rest a little bit. But no, it's been amazing. We caught some Celtics basketball. We finally broke our streak of losing games with every time you and I have attended a game, either alone or together. Neither of us have witnessed a win in person. We broke that spell. I guess it's been 2 weeks now. Here in San Antonio, it was awesome to see a win. Didn't feel like we were going to get it because the Celtics tried a million different ways to lose that game to a team that is literally trying to lose. So, kind of like it was inspiring, but also like, wow, we should have blown them out. But nonetheless, we are on a 7-game win streak, and that Spurs game was it was fun. We enjoyed it.
No, we had a good time, and maybe. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe his presence was the reason that we won, because the Galloway curse was very much a thing. Spencer and I were 0-8 in Celtics games in person, which is kind of wild. But we saw the win with Drew there with us, but then you saw a win in New York the following week. So maybe it's just you and me together. Maybe we need that third person. Maybe we need to go by ourselves.
Maybe we just need to.
I think we need to play around with it.
The fact is, when you say 0-8, I realize those are like rookie numbers. We got to really crank those numbers up. And I know they only visit our city once a year, but man, we got to get some more games. We got to just do what it takes. Whether that be getting to Boston or whenever they do the Texas road trip, we just got to be there.
We just got to be there.
As professionals, as podcasters, we have to do better.
Yeah, so I'm 1-8, and you're 2-8. So you hit double digits. It's impressive. Round of applause. Good job.
Thank you.
But yeah, 7-game win streak. The Celtics are looking really good. I'm glad that we didn't get too concerned when we had a little rough spot a few weeks ago. Well, if you're on Twitter, everybody did. And Twitter's really proven to me more so than any other time in my life over the past few months how terrible it is. Like, I know it might be hypocritical for me, a guy on a random podcast, not being paid to do this. No one's telling me to do this. And I'm just giving you my dirt opinions and my insider, my expert info. But good Lord, everyone can just say anything on Twitter, and they're so shameless about it. We lose 2 in a row, everybody's saying it's time to fire Joe Mazzulla. It's just shit like that, and I can't. I'm gonna have to. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get off Twitter. I'm gonna delete Twitter. It's bad for me. It makes me angry.
We actually need you on Twitter more.
Why?
Maybe you get on the Splash account. Maybe that'll disguise it a little bit.
Yeah, you're not letting. Yeah, okay. No, because you don't let me. You don't want me to be on the social media.
Well, I really don't want you to, but if it'll make you feel better,
it would.
Okay. Honestly, I don't know the password. So. Haven't been on that in a long time. Okay. I got my own fans to take care of. I got my own little.
You got your only what?
I got my own. Not only I got my own fans.
Oh, I thought you said something else, bud.
No, I don't have that. No,
I was like, okay,
I'm not that desperate yet.
You're an entrepreneur.
You know, we could be the first podcast.
Nope. Nope. I'm
just saying it's a good avenue to. It's neither here nor there. You hit the nail on the head. Celtics are looking great. Like I said, no Jaylen Brown right now. I think we're hoping, and I think he's going to fight like hell to try to get in this Warriors game on Thursday. This time it is at home. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm nervous for that game because it's a regular season game. I don't think, the Warriors they're going to be there in the playoffs, maybe. If Steph stays healthy, they're looking better. But it is an important game. I mean, I don't think we should.
No, it definitely is.
I think it's naive to say it's not. Tatum definitely looked out of sorts the last time he played. There's definitely something going on there mentally. Tatum, though, the most recent memory in his head is going to be 51 in Charlotte and getting MVP chance on the road because we have no games until Thursday, which you would think is good. Getting 2 full days of rest. It's not. The Celtics are 1-6.
It's not good for this team.
The Celtics are 1-6 when coming off of 2 days of rest. I don't think we should look into that too much, but it speaks to something. Maybe the team needs to do better at staying sharp. I think Mazzulla's spoken to this team doesn't believe in practicing super hard, which I agree with because it's a long season. But if you need to get the guys together on Wednesday and say, look, let's get in a good hard practice so we can actually be sharp and not come out of the gates so slow on Thursday against a Warriors team that will be ready because they stay inspired, they stay motivated. They are terrible on the road, but I think all of that goes out the window when these two teams match up because
absolutely. It's really become the modern NBA grudge match,
right now.
At least within the past year. Honestly, for the past few years, it's been a marquee matchup, and this is a poor comparison, but a comparison I will make nonetheless. It kind of reminds me of when LeBron didn't really become LeBron until he knocked off Boston, until he finally got over the hump and was able to finally beat them. Now, it took him going to Miami and forming the super team and all this, but I feel like Tatum needs to have that same experience, finally overcoming Steph and the rest of the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we saw earlier in the year, I know it was, in Golden State, but he just looked off. He didn't look comfortable that entire road trip, but especially against the Warriors, it was
game.
like
Wow.
The Lakers game, yes, but the Warriors game, he wasn't himself. I feel like he was forcing stuff, trying to find himself on the court. He could have probably benefited from a timeout or 3, but you definitely saw that hesitation. That shit, can I beat these guys? At least that was my perspective.
And something I said after that game was, ability-wise, skill-wise, talent-wise, Tatum obviously can be the best player in that matchup. He can. Of course he can. On any given night against Warriors, even if Steph's on the floor, he can still be the best player on the floor. But I don't know if he believes that yet. I think he still feels like he's the underdog, like he's the young guy. And let's not forget, he is still, I think, 2 months away from his 25th birthday. At 24, Steph Curry was nowhere near the level of Jayson Tatum. It didn't really come onto the scene until a little bit later in his 20s.
Steph was still just a 3-point merchant back then.
Let's not forget that he's only 24. And I know that, well, he's actually only 19, but
he's only 19.
Seriously, I mean, we have probably been a little hard on him at certain moments, but he's fully catapulted himself to the top of the MVP discussions this year. He has taken another leap, and I just would like to see him get an easy one early. Yesterday, I don't know if you were able to catch the full game. Mazzulla came up with just a brilliant lob play, and it was just a fun. It was Derek White. It was your 2-point guards. Derek White threw an epic lob to Marcus Smart, and the team was fired up.
To start the game, I saw that, yeah.
It was a bold play, but it worked. They didn't see it coming, and the team loved it. White was, I'd like to see something easy like that for JT to open up the game. Get him an easy look, because last time I think he opened the game against the Warriors 1-7, and when you start that bad and you're on the road and maybe the toughest place to play, it's really hard to rebound mentally from that and try to play a full 48 when their defense is totally keying in on you. So something to look forward to. Thursday night matchup. It'll be a big deal. TNT. Boston's going to be going nuts. We were actually at that game last year, which...
oh, yeah, we were.
It was good to say, but wish we were this year. But
well,
hopefully we make it out. We're going to make it out there, and hopefully later this spring. Anyhow, we are headed into that with our win streak. Kind of kicked it off last week, playing a good Pelicans team. No Zion, which is worth pointing out. McCollum had 38 points. But the Jays were extremely efficient. 25 for 40.
They're so good.
They combined for 72 points. Yes, they are still the all-time leading duo in scoring. I think their number is closer to 60 points combined per game now, which is just bizarre.
What they're doing is crazy.
Yes.
Week in and week out, they're dropping combined 50, 60, 70.
I mean, they average almost 60 points together. It is bizarre. They're both in the top 10 on the MVP ladder. That's why I really never wanted to trade Brown, even if it meant Kevin Durant, and as amazing as he's been. Look, he ended up getting hurt. He's just an older player, and I think the Nets are going to suffer from that pretty severely. We do have a 4.5 game lead on them, and Nets are 0-2 since KD's gone down. So I think that lead is, it's pretty safe to say that lead's going to grow. The game of the week for me, Brooklyn and Boston in Brooklyn. I got to see this one live. First time in New York, first time in Barclays. Little Barclays Center review for you. Very cool, like very modern, very chic.
Okay.
All the food smelled horrendous.
Really?
Maybe that was just the fans. I don't know.
Whoa. You're going to piss some people off. You're going to piss some people off.
Peculiar characters in my section. I did meet one gentleman from Boston. Stellar guy, although was all corporate, didn't wear an ounce of green, which I only mention that because I was the only one greened out in the section. We're close to the court. People are screaming, losing their mind. I got a woman, probably in her 50s, draped all over me whenever the Nets would score. And it was, I give them credit. That was a tough place to play. But Barclays was cool. Needless to say, great game. Kyrie and Tatum kind of canceled each other out because with no KD and no Jaylen Brown, each team's defense just locked in on the other team's star. Great game from the Celtics supporting cast, 6 guys in double figures. Smart, I think, had over 10 assists. Just his playmaking has taken another leap, which he's finally really growing into be the point guard that we need him to be. So all around, just a blast of game, even with some missing stars. But I mean,
yeah, it's been really neat, and especially like I watched the Nets game on TV, and it was really stood out to me as well that Marcus Smart, and he has been all year. Like this isn't just a new development, but he's really taken that next step as, okay, this isn't just a really good defensive guard. It's okay, he can facilitate, he can be a playmaker, he can be the guy we need to find Tatum, Brown, and company in scoring positions. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Let's be honest. I have always hated Marcus Smart's 3-point shooting. But he's at a point, I love it. I still cringe. I won't lie. I still cringe. But, you know, he's a 3-point option. The defense has to watch out. It's really good in this team, especially with the ball movement centering around Brown, Tatum, and Smart. It's just it's fluid. It's good. It sets us up for a lot of really good high percentage shots, and that's what this team really needs is high percentage shots. So it's fantastic.
Those shots are important for us now. When he's open, that 3-pointer is a great shot. Actually, I mean, it's a shot he needs to take. I will never say that Marcus Smart is deferring too much, but he really does do a way better job of getting guys involved, and he takes pride in it. He was asked in a post game, you know, what he thought about being the point guard for this team, and he took pride in saying, you know, I have a lot of mouths to feed, but it's something I love to do, which is true. You know, this is a very talented team, and you know, he does not deserve to eat first, if you will. You know, like, there are two guys who are clearly the leaders of this team, but I think there's no doubt in my mind that Marcus is still the third most impactful player on this team with his defense, with his playmaking, with his. You know, he does have real scoring chops. He's got that little floater. He can get by guys. Mm-hmm. He's sneaky quick.
No, it's not crazy to say. People don't think of that, but
he's a bulldog. I mean, he really is just a strong guy. Muscles up other guards, can defend any position. Even with Rob's return and how good he's looked, I mean, I'm still so high on Marcus Smart, and I'm so glad he's with us, and especially we got him for what feels like such a steal now, but just love it. I'm loving what he's bringing for us this season. That
you know what I'm not loving?
What's that?
I'm not loving this MVP conversation.
Why? Just the narrative as a whole?
You know, I really hate... What I'm seeing the most is, okay, obviously, Nikola Jokic is running away with it. Back-to-back-to-back MVP. He deserves it. It should happen. But hold on. Voter fatigue is a thing. No, it's not. Not anymore. But but then they're saying voter fatigue is a thing, so it's not going to be him. And then they just say Luka Doncic. It's got to be Jokic or Luka. Are you not seeing what Jayson Tatum is doing? He's averaging 31, 8, and 4 on 47% from the field with the best team in the NBA. I know he's got a really good supporting staff, but are you kidding me? He's out of this world. He's playing out of his mind. You take Jayson Tatum away from this team, 6 seed at best, maybe a 5 seed.
I mean, I guess it just depends what circles you're in, but yeah, there is a lot of Luka love.
And you know, it's unfounded.
With Giannis, it felt like his first two were kind of locks, and voter fatigue was a real thing for that one. For some reason, I feel like there's not going to be fatigue with Jokic. I don't know why. There is a lot of buzz with him, and I said it was actually kind of funny how our conversation ended up shaping out, because you and I just in private were discussing, I think it was Friday night. You had brought this to my attention, and I said I would still probably favor Jokic. And then the next night, Saturday night, Jokic hits the game-winning 3 right at the buzzer. And I was like, yep, he just does that. And of course, he had like another killer stat line. But then the next day, when with no Jaylen Brown on the road, and I'm not acting like the Hornets are tough, but we get the best out of teams, and they played really hard, and we needed Tatum the whole game, and he was out there playing tremendous two-way play, and then of course 51 and huge shots late. He had 18 in the fourth quarter alone. He is, fun fact, second in the entire NBA as far as fourth quarter points go.
Oh, wow.
Only second to LeBron. Pretty bizarre. I mean, he is like when we say he's taken a leap, he's truly taken a leap. Obviously, the defense is there. He is right there with KD and Giannis as best two-way players in the game. Defensively, he is a nightmare for other teams. And then he just never looks tired either. He is busting ass on both ends of the ball, and I just love to see it because a lot of these guys will take possessions off, and I know he's young, but I mean, he is just phenomenal. I mean, the stamina on him, he doesn't miss games. He's an Iron Man. I know Tatum is right there with Jokic, and
it's got to be between those two. I mean, Jokic, Jokic does it all, but so does Tatum. But Jokic is incredibly efficient. He just wins. Like, I don't know how to explain Nikola Jokic other than him being 7 foot white LeBron.
That's kind of his case. He's so compelling as a player to watch. We haven't really had anybody exactly like that before. Some people would say, Sabonis, like Arvydas Sabonis, like was maybe regarded as the best,
but not to this level.
But it's like not even comparable. Jokic is entering. I mean, he's already won 2 MVPs, man. He is entering top 5 center status ever if he's not there already. For me, I think he's there, especially offensively. The defensive stuff took a while, but I mean, Denver on both sides of the ball, their rating drops significantly when he heads to the bench. So he is making impacts on both ends, and you hit the nail on the head. Extremely efficient. I think he has a historic 30. What's his PER right now? Which is crazy because Jokic is doing all of this on only 27% usage, which you see when Harden won his MVP, he was in the high 30s. Westbrook the same. He is great at distributing the ball. He does not control the ball for very long. There's no way to game plan for him. He's probably the best player in the league right now. I mean, especially with Giannis taking a little bit of a hit recently. He dropped 9 points and 7 points in back-to-back games last week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is a compelling case. I'm not really entertaining the Luka stuff because I don't know. Just want to see them win.
Luka's the sexy name to say. Like, if you don't really watch basketball, you see the main headlines, you maybe watch a game here or there. I think Luka's your guy. I think you're like, oh, it has to be. But when you really take a look and you unpack everything, it's so obviously clear that this is a Jayson Tatum and Nikola Jokic race. And if the Lakers turn up and if the Lakers are even better, I'm willing to put LeBron in that conversation. Because LeBron is that entire team, and it's still not enough.
LeBron is, the Lakers are only, I think, a game out from the 6th spot, which is bizarre. But, the West is jam-packed right now.
The West is so weird.
They're kind of just fighting amongst each other. I think it's clear that the East has been the tougher conference this year. The teams at the top. The East is heavier at the top, but also, I think, balanced greater all the way throughout. They have every team in the East plays tough every night. It's not to say we don't have tanking teams, but our tanking teams in the East are teams like the Magic, and the Magic are still a tough play every night because they have the Rookie of the Year, they have Franz Wagner, they have guards who can play at a high level. I don't know. I think this case where, what do you think about this? And this is, all MVP debates are the same, but also different. And one narrative against Tatum is, he's got maybe the most help. I don't know what to do with that. Jaylen Brown is the best co-star of any of the MVP candidates, but Denver has an elite has like elite level depth. They have a very good team. Jamal Murray is a great co-star, and he's rising. After this injury that he suffered, and he's finally getting in the groove of things. There was a point in time where you would have taken Jamal Murray over Jaylen Brown. I wouldn't do that now, but
no, not now. But I think that argument.
I think it runs
there's
a little
something
flat.
to it. There's something to it to a degree, but also let me turn that argument on its side and say, okay, yeah, but maybe it's the MVP making the guys around him that much better, right?
Yeah.
And also, you look at historic MVPs. Michael Jordan had Scottie, and he had a lot. He had a very good staff. He had a very good team around him. LeBron's MVPs came while he was in Miami with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and again a very solid supporting staff. Norris Cole, the 2-time champ. All right.
Norris Cole.
Nobody wants to talk about Norris Cole. I'll talk about Norris Cole. Giannis had a very good team around him as well. Chris Middleton is a very solid second option that has worked very well with Giannis's game. I don't think Giannis is the same player without Chris Middleton being with him every step of the way.
Well, to be fair, he's not, because Middleton hasn't played this year, and look at where I'm not going to say look at where that's gotten them, but they have played very poorly as of late, as compared to their standards.
But also, I might not have to. I might not be able to speak to that because I am a known Giannis hater.
I think we're both known Giannis haters. I know Giannis is. If I was to pick a team right now, I'd probably start my team with Giannis still. I mean, he is just the force he is on both sides of the ball is unstoppable. 2-time MVP. He won that championship just 2 years ago, which that finals still feels like a distant reality. Like the Suns Bucks finals, it just feels like that never even happened.
No, it was weird. I forgot that they won the finals.
Yeah, no, they did.
And I watch a lot of basketball.
Well, it was just awkwardly crammed. It was in the shortened season. It was right after the bubble. It was like, how did we get here so fast? And I don't know. Anyway, no, I don't know. The Celtics have a tremendous supporting cast, but if you are 4.5 games up as the 1 seed, and that lead's starting to get bigger and bigger, if the Celtics finish out far and away the best team in the East, let alone the NBA, come on, you got to reward that. Your best player on the best team has often been just the simplest MVP case. That was Steph Curry both times. Actually, that's not true. In 2015, I believe it should have gone to James Harden because they had the best record, and James Harden was also stellar. 2016, no debate, give it to Steph. Here I am, just all these years later, just fighting for my boy James. But
it's okay. Hey, it's noble.
Yeah. Well, I think we both expressed that. I mean, for me, it's still a toss-up, man. I'll be watching it. Well, I'll be watching it super close the rest of the year. I feel like the Mavs are probably going to end up with about the 5th or the 6th seed, so that's why I kind of mentally put Luka out of it. Hey, show me something. Maybe he gets some help at the trade deadline. Maybe that bolsters their odds. Maybe they're fighting with Denver for the 1 seed. Who knows? It's a long season. We're not even at the All-Star break yet. Be watching it.
Well said. So, it's fun. It's really fun, Boston sports is this year. And I think that contrasting images are important to stimulate your mind. And they're fun.
Okay.
It's kind of like seeing something, I don't know, something wacky and zany, and then something very serious and grim. It kind of levels you, evens you out.
Like looking at a car accident.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, but yeah, like reaching equilibrium. So let's do a little bit of that, a little mind exercise for us and the viewers. Let's talk about the New England Patriots.
Oh.
Because, Spence, did you know it? The Patriots missed the playoffs, got embarrassed in Buffalo, gave us a little bit of hope here and there, but by and large, they weren't going to win that game. First game since DeMar Hamlin in Buffalo with already a vastly better team. It just didn't seem like it was going to happen, First play of the game is a kick return for a touchdown, and Nyheim Hines did that twice. But yeah, so it's the fifth time the Pats have missed the playoffs since 2000. This is obviously the second since Brady left. Being that terrible Cam Newton year. So at least we did better than that.
We had Cam Newton.
We did. We
Let
had
the
Cam
record
Newton.
show Cam Newton was the quarterback for the New England Patriots.
That was what a weird time. Went from Tom Brady to
Bad
Cam
time.
Newton, and it was like bad Cam Newton as well.
But
But
I'm going to say that we didn't record last week. That was maybe a good thing looking back, because I think both of our spirits were just not. I wasn't crushed because I knew, I wasn't super optimistic going into that game. Don't get me wrong. I put on the jersey. I got excited. I watched the hype tapes. Deep down, I knew that was going to be a dog fight, and we would be lucky to come away with a close game, let alone a win. But time has gone on. Robert Kraft has published a statement. He issued the letter to the classic letter to the season ticket holders, and but seriously, I do think we should expect big change in New England. We have already seen that they're looking for a new OC, which I don't even want to say new OC. I just want to say,
an OC.
just because we didn't really have one this year. I think the Patricia thing was rushed and was like Bill calling up one of his buddies and say, "Hey, Matt, you want to give offense a try?" And Matt was like, "Oh, sure, yeah. Well, where do I sign?" And it was a mess. I don't think we were ready for the loss of McDaniels, even though we should have been, because he looks for a job and interviews for a job after every single season. But that somehow caught us by surprise. I don't know, man. I have no idea the direction of this team. I mean, I have some idea, but I couldn't tell you who the quarterback's going to be next year.
I can.
Is it Mac? I don't know.
It'll be
Is
Mac.
it somebody else? I think
I think it's a mistake if we get let go of Mac or bench Mac, because I like what I see. Even with the shit show the offense was this year, and Matt Patricia, the ringleader of that shit show, Mac Jones still shined in a lot of moments. And even if, it didn't turn out well, we still he did what he could, and he looked pretty decent. He looks like he's figuring things out. I'm willing to give him another year before I decide. But give him someone to throw the ball to, please. I know we're linked to DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not even listening to that because I don't want to get my hopes up. We need to draft somebody. We need to draft a wide receiver, and just hope to God it's not a N'Keal Harry part 2.
No.
Let's bolster the offensive line a little bit. Bring back Hunter Henry. That was good. Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne can stay.
There's things there.
We have Ramondre. We're losing Damian Harris. That's fine. That's fair. He's gonna go do great wherever he's gonna go. But I think that's the direction. Just keep the defense, find some weapons, and get an offensive coordinator.
There are 3 really special receivers I'm looking at in the draft for us. The TCU kid, what's his name?
Oh, Quentin Johnston.
Quentin Johnston, probably not going to fall to us. Probably going to be the first guy.
He'll be first receiver off the boards.
Probably first receiver off the board. A lot of drafts having us taken Jordan Addison. I like Jordan Addison. I like you and I love Jackson Smith. One of those guys needs to end up on the Patriots roster, I feel like. Look,
yeah.
I'm not an NFL GM. I don't know what I'm doing. But also I understand that the Patriots shy away from taking big-name offensive guys early in the draft. I know that. They'd like to take guys like Cole Strange, who, hey, that's a good player.
He had a good year.
That's a good player. I want to see somebody on this team fight to be the number 1 receiver. And I don't think anybody on this roster can do that right now. No offense to Myers. I think Myers is a fine piece, a great complementary piece. I like Tyquan Thornton. I think Kendrick Bourne does some stuff. I think Hunter Henry, like you said, is a good player. There are pieces here. We're not totally lost and looking for any sign of life. This team was fighting for a playoff spot at the end of the year, and that matters. That is, like you said, including the disarray of the coaching. And now we're going to enter this coaching carousel looking for an OC. Who is it? I don't know. Is it Cliff Kingsbury? I don't know. Is it somebody else? Probably. Is it Bill O'Brien? Probably. I
Don't
know.
say that. Don't say that. It probably is, but don't say that.
Vegas is looking for a quarterback. Some people think that Jones could go hang out with his buddy McDaniels in Vegas. I don't know. Lamar Jackson it seems pretty much like he's not going back to Baltimore. Everything is telling us that's not going to happen. It feels like that relationship is dead. I don't know. There are options. I think in my heart today, I would say give me Mac Jones, and then let's do our best to help him out. If that's DeAndre Hopkins, if that's drafting a great young receiver, I don't know. But I bought a Mac Jones jersey this year, and I really don't want it to already lose all of its value. So
I need you to stop buying our star players' jerseys or our developing players' jerseys, because that's it. It's a black hole. You buy this jersey, and then you know what happens. Everybody knows what happens. We've talked about it a lot. They go downhill. And so maybe, you know what, maybe Matt Patricia's an amazing OC, but you bought Mac Jones' jersey, and that's what it was.
What happened.
Maybe.
Just would like to point out that Jayson Tatum is still fighting that off. He's still disproving that right now. I've had that since 2018. Kid's doing okay. They restocked the Jaylen Brown jerseys. Pretty sure I'm gonna get that one soon. So, JB, look out. Jersey's coming. So, just saying, something to watch. To watch.
Yeah, okay.
As far as the Pats go, I'm looking for a new OC. I think there's things going to change. Obviously, we're going to have to reevaluate a lot. As far as the rest of the NFL playoffs, I actually admittedly was feeling a little discouraged, so I didn't watch every game. Although I do know that the Giants are wreaking havoc in the playoffs.
They're doing weird stuff.
I see a little Isaiah Hodgins, David Tyree comp happening. I see just kind of a guy who just comes out of nowhere, maybe catches a ball on his helmet to win the Super Bowl. I don't know. Daniel Jones, I kind of like him. Could
be fun at any times.
He's definitely cemented himself as their guy going forward.
I'm rooting heavy for the Jags. You all right? Something just happened to Spencer. I'm not sure what. But regardless, Jags had an insane comeback, down 27-0. Trevor Lawrence looked like a different quarterback in the second half than the first half. How can you not fall in love with this Jags team? Doug Peterson's such a great guy, such a great head coach. Trevor Lawrence, if you didn't like Clemson, maybe I get it, but Trevor Lawrence is a clean guy. He went to Waffle House after the win. Come on, he's a man of the people. The Jags have always sucked. The Chiefs are always amazing. Let's have Jacksonville. Let's keep it going. Come on, give me the Jags.
Watched that game a lot. I enjoyed it. It was very much a Chargers moment to the fullest. I love Justin Herbert so much. I think he's just a special kid, special talent. I want to see him do well. That being said, Brandon Staley being the head coach, don't agree with it. Do I think he's going to be there next year? Yep. Chargers don't fire people, at least not this soon. Even if Sean Payton is available to be the head coach of your great young quarterback, I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to say, just run it back next year. Jags, you've always had a little, like you've always been kind of on Jags Island, like kind of go back and forth. You kind of like you were into it when Minshew was the guy.
Well, I'm a big Minshew fan.
Now they have a real quarterback, and look, Trevor Lawrence. I buried him after that first half. 4 picks was nuts. That's terrible. How do you come back?
It was something to watch. It was something to watch.
How do you come back from that? Well, he did. Finishes with 4 touchdowns. Just a stellar second half performance by the Jags. Is it more of a Jags win or a Chargers collapse?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think that the Jags played out of their minds to an extent. But also, when you're up 27-0, it is such a choke job. To only score 3 points after putting up 27 pretty quickly is wild.
It's an all-time loss right there. All-time, one of the biggest losses ever. Needless to say, Jags are advancing. They got the Chiefs. Bengals got the Bills. That rounds out the AFC. Like I said, the Giants rolling, facing the Eagles. And then Cowboys after. Man, what a depressing game for the Bucs last night. I mean, Brady was fine. Like, he did look skittish at points. He did totally miss some passes. It's probably a different game if he doesn't throw that pick in the red zone. After they were the broadcast crew was like, "Oh my God, Brady in the red zone, so efficient. Hasn't thrown a pick in the red zone since 2019." Well, of course, you knew what was going to happen there. The broadcaster curse kicked in. He surely did throw a red zone pick, and then Cowboys had all the momentum from there. Ran away with it. That was really a battle of two teams who have no business playing the 49ers next week. So, Cowboys, good on you for advancing, but you're going to lose to Brock Purdy. Sorry, it's going to happen.
I don't disagree. It's going to be, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be, we're going to get Chiefs Bills in the AFC. We're going to get Eagles Niners.
I'm not so sure about the Bills. I don't know.
It's the DeMar Hamlin year, baby. It's going to happen.
I don't know.
It's going to be good.
I don't know.
We're
The
going to love
Bengals
it.
are good, man. The Bengals are good.
So.
They wanted to play them 2 weeks ago badly. They can get to play. I think the Bengals really thought they had the momentum going into that game. I think they're going to be fired up to play this one. I mean, it's going to be a big game. We'll see, because it is the game that never got to be played. And we kind of expected to see them in the divisional round, and here they go. Gonna be a pretty fun football weekend, even if the Patriots are not involved. Even if Tom Brady is not involved, man, that one stings a little bit. I think he's coming back next year, not to Tampa Bay.
Not to Tampa. He'll be around.
He's
not done.
Very dismissive of any likely return to Tampa Bay. He said his goodbyes last night in the presser, basically.
And that's what happens. That's what you get when you just shit the bed. You bring Brady out of retirement, and you give him Todd Bowles, Byron Leftwich. The offensive line was decimated.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was good, but it was nowhere near as good as when they won the Super Bowl.
I mean, last night they rolled out with Ryan Jensen at the center, which, don't get me wrong, they've missed Jensen all year, but he hasn't played a snap of football all year long.
That was weird.
There was no way he was going to be ready for that, and let's say he played poorly or anything. It was just a weird season for the Bucs compared to what we've seen from them. Play calling was pretty shoddy all year. It was up there with the Matt Patricia Patriots. That being said, give me Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl. I think the kid's got a special story right now. I think the Niners Chiefs would be the most entertaining Super Bowl we've seen them play already.
I think it'll be fun.
Be a fun time.
I like that.
Looking forward to next year, though.
I think next year will be good. I think it'll be okay.
I think it'll
Let's
be
not
improvement.
overreact. Let's just see. I'm gonna see what Bobby Kraft and Bill Belichick do. They're gonna do something. They always do. I'm not gonna eat these words.
No,
it'll be okay.
It'll be all right.
So that being said, that's all the time we got for today, Spence. Any last thoughts?
Not really. We never got to it. Red Sox signed Devers. Thank God.
Thank God. Finally did one thing right.
And as soon as that happened, Trevor Story was announced to be hurt for a good portion. He's just hurt for now. We'll see if he's ready come season. I doubt it. But I'll take one great thing if it means, a few other questionable things. And to anybody on Red Sox Twitter or Instagram who's acting like we have a good team, don't. You're setting the bar up
it's
here.
Bad.
We don't. So
better than last year, probably. But it's still not good.
Let's just be happy that we got our guy for the long term, and maybe things get better in the future.
They have to, right?
If we win games, that's amazing. But let's not get too high.
We'll figure it out.
Better things
take
coming.
it easy.
Better things coming. Still, the Bruins and the Celtics are atop their respective leagues. We have a lot to be happy about. Let's not get too greedy here.
I agree. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of The Splash. Sorry we missed last week, but we're back on it this week, and we will be back on it next week as well, bringing you your favorite news reports, stats, and updates about all your Boston sports teams. And you know what? We're going to talk about the playoffs the rest of the way because it's fun and it's easy. And, you know, there's not a lot going on. Look at the Taco J right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much, and we will see you next week.